Have you ever felt that spark at the beginning, but somehow couldn't make it to the end? In the heart of a busy town, everyone knew Maxwell. He was 28 years old, a carpenter with hands like a magician. But Maxwell had a sickness of the soul. He was the king of incomplete. His workshop was a graveyard of almost. You would see a beautiful mahogany bed with no headboard, or a dining table with only 2 legs polished. Every corner of his shop was a monument to a dream he started with fire, but abandoned when it got cold. When his neighbors asked, "Maxwell, where is the cabinet I paid for?" he would look at the floor and whisper, "I am coming. I just had a better idea for a new chair." But his "I am coming" was a road that led to nowhere. His father, Old Man Richard, used to look at the mess and sigh deeply. "Maxwell, my son," he would say, "the world does not pay you for what you start. The world only pays you for what you finish. A half-baked bread is still raw dough." One bright morning, the most successful woman in the province, Mrs. Evelyn, walked into the shop. She saw Maxwell's raw talent hidden under the dust of abandoned projects. "I want a grand library desk," she said. "I will pay you double your price, but it must be ready for my daughter's graduation in 3 months." Maxwell was over the moon. He thought, "This is it. This project will change my life." For the first 3 weeks, the shop was loud with the sound of his saw. The desk looked like a masterpiece in the making. But then, Maxwell saw a video online of a modern bookshelf design. The spirit of jumping entered him again. "Let me just try this small bookshelf first," he told himself. 1 week became 4. The bookshelf joined the graveyard of unfinished wood. Before he knew it, the 3 months had vanished like smoke. The graduation day came. Mrs. Evelyn arrived at the shop, but instead of a masterpiece, she found a skeleton of a desk and a man hiding in shame. She didn't shout. She just looked at him with pity and said, "Talent without completion is just a loud noise, Maxwell. I will find a finisher elsewhere." She took her business away, and the news of his failure spread like a bushfire. Maxwell sat in the middle of his workshop and wept. He realized he was nearly 30, and his only legacy was a room full of junk. He felt like a man running a race who always stops 10 meters before the finish line. That evening, feeling like a total failure, he traveled to the edge of the forest to see Old Man Silas, a master woodworker known for his discipline. Silas looked at Maxwell's red eyes and said only one word, "Enter." Old Man Silas's workshop was so clean it looked like a church. There were no almost projects here. Silas sat down and began to carve a simple wooden bowl. For a long time, he said nothing. Then, he picked up a thin shaving from the floor. "Maxwell, look at this," he said. "The beginning of this bowl was exciting. The end will be beautiful. But right now, in the middle, it is just hard, dusty work." He looked Maxwell straight in the soul. The middle is the wilderness. This is where most men quit because the newness has worn off. They think they need more motivation, but motivation is a liar. You don't need fire to finish, you need a vow. "If I stop carving now because I am bored, I have wasted the tree's life." You are not a failure because you lack skill. You are a failure because you have made quitting your habit. Old Man Silas didn't give him a big lecture. He gave him a small piece of sandpaper. "Go back to your graveyard," he commanded. "Pick the smallest, most useless thing you started, maybe a simple stool, and give me your word. For the next 30 days, you will touch that stool for 10 minutes every single day. Even if you are crying, even if you are tired, even if you hate it, you must touch it until the work is done." Maxwell went home and chose a small, 3-legged stool that had been gathering cobwebs for a year. The first day was hard. His mind kept screaming, "Go and start that new wardrobe." But he stayed for 10 minutes. On day 5, he felt like stopping, but he remembered Silas's eyes. By day 15, something strange happened. He stopped thinking about new ideas and started focusing on the grain of the wood. The spirit of halfway was finally losing its grip on his hands. On day 25, the stool was finished. It was perfect. Maxwell sat on it and felt a power he had never known, the power of a man who kept a promise to himself. He realized that finishing is a muscle, and he had finally started to train it. He took on a second project, then a third. He He didn't allow himself to start anything new until the current one was polished and ready. A year later, Maxwell's workshop was no longer a graveyard. It was a showroom of excellence. Even Mrs. Evelyn returned, amazed by the change. My friend, listen to me. The world is full of starters, but it is starved for finishers. Your talent will never take you to the top if your lack of discipline keeps you at the bottom. Pick that one abandoned project today. Touch it for 10 minutes. Prove to yourself that you are no longer the person who almost made it. Today, you become a finisher. This is your moment to take back control. Today, you get to prove to yourself that you actually have what it takes. Transformation doesn't require hours. It requires 10 minutes of daily focus on one single project until it's done. If this message gave you the spark you needed to finally cross the finish line, please like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a wake-up call for their goals. Comment below with the project you are completing this month. I'll be back with another story to keep us all moving forward. Remember, greatness isn't about starting 1,000 things. It's about finishing the one that matters.